Members of the Standing Rock Sioux tribe have been relentlessly protesting the Dakota Access Pipeline because not only would it violate their territorial sovereignty, but it would threaten the drinking water of millions of people in North Dakota. Now, ever since they've been protesting, which has been going on now for several months, they have been attacked by the dogs of armed mercenaries. They've been intimidated by militarized police, and they've been arbitrarily arrested. Now, a recent event where they did an 8-mile march just took a turn for the worse, and it became very violent quickly due to the police officers. So The Intercept explains the marchers never made it to their destination. Instead, they were attacked by police forces who used pepper spray and beat protesters with batons. Dozens of officers, backed by military trucks, police vans, machine guns, and non-lethal weapons, violently approached the group without warning. "Don't move, everyone is under arrest," said a voice from the loudspeaker of the military vehicle. As the protesters attempted to leave, the police began beating and detaining them. Several Native American women leading the march were targeted, dragged out of the crowd, and arrested. One man was body slammed to the ground, while another woman broke her ankle running from the police. The military and police trucks followed the protesters as nearly 100 police officers corralled the protesters into a circle. Among the arrested were journalists, a 17-year-old pregnant girl, and a 78-year-old woman. In total, more than 140 people were detained in half an hour. It was the largest roundup of protesters since the movement against the pipeline intensified 2 months ago. A majority of those arrested were charged with rioting and criminal trespass. Overall, close to 300 people have been arrested since protests against the pipeline kicked off over the summer. When we arrived in Mandan, the jail was so overwhelmed with people that we had to sit on the floor in the jail's common area. 2 Native American men were thrown into solitary confinement. A number of women faced humiliating strip searches, which included spreading their body parts and jumping up and down while coughing. We were refused phone calls and received no food or water for 8 hours after being arrested. 2 women fainted from low blood sugar, and another had her medication taken away, causing her to shake and sweat profusely. So let's call it what it is. This is state-sanctioned violence. It's unacceptable, and they're really just harassing the protesters because they don't want this pipeline to go through. And we know that the state of North Dakota is on the side of the oil company because they've proven time and again that they are willing to go to great lengths to try to dissuade them from protesting. So now they're being charged with criminal trespass. They're being charged with rioting. This is false, and this is literally a tactic that's used in authoritarian countries. During the Arab Spring, there were certain dictators that would say, look, if I see more than 10 people gathered in one area, that's a riot, that's a protest, so you're going to be arrested for it. Now we're seeing this in the United States of America. The state of North Dakota is definitely, unequivocally siding with the pipeline company who will profit off of this money, who will profit off of poisoning the planet and violating the sovereignty of the Standing Rock Sioux tribe. And they're saying, look, if these protesters care about clean drinking water and Native American sovereignty, that's too bad. We're on the side of the company that's going to make us money, that's going to improve the economy of North Dakota. And if they don't like it, then we will turn into authoritarians and intimidate them and harass them and physically assault them. This is not okay. And the silence from Hillary Clinton, a so-called progressive candidate, is deafening. She has to speak out about this. Jill Stein spoke out about this. Bernie Sanders spoke out about this. And anyone in Congress who's silent, you have to speak out about this because this is a huge issue. These protesters are now risking their lives. I mean, they're going to jail. They're being strip searched, which is completely unnecessary. There's no reason to believe that they're carrying weapons. None of the other protesters have. And you're arresting elderly women. From the last video when I covered the Dakota Access Pipeline protest, one lady, she was elderly, she said, look, they pointed guns in my face. That was the first time I literally have ever seen a gun in person. This is not what's supposed to go on in a democracy. We are supposed to be able to exercise our First Amendment right without the fear of intimidation or threats. I want every single person who knows about this to speak up, share articles about it, because if we force the mainstream media to pay attention, then politicians will be forced to act.